let me tell you about this one very wild emotional experience. I had this years ago where I cried for, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes or an hour or something. But like 0 to 12, extremely intense emotional experience, hyperventilating, like hands in front of my face, shaking, just everything in me was just grief. And it felt like a really, really deep grief. It was a mourning and a sadness, like so much deeper than a sadness, that was in my womb space and wasn't mine. It was it really felt like it wasn't mine in this lifetime. It didn't feel it genuinely felt like I was mourning the loss of a miscarriage, um, from a different life. And that echo of grief felt very difficult to trace. It was just suddenly with me. And it was like an ache in every part of me that needed to be expressed. It really didn't make a lot of sense to me at the time. It was very confusing and very overwhelming. And what I have come to understand is this is an experience of ancestral trauma. And I'll add that since I don't know if it was a specific ancestor of mine or if it was one of our human ancestors, it could have also been a past life in that scenario. And I do find a lot of similarities between ancestral healing and past lives. I'm going to talk about that later on as well. But this feels like the experience of ancestral trauma, the emotional intensity, the fears and the patterns sometimes that don't actually begin with us, but they are living within us. So it is not like symbolism, it's genuinely a memory. Like that is exactly what it felt like a recall of an emotion that perhaps never got expressed to that depth. Perhaps that was something just, held inside and shoved away. It was extremely intense. I think sometimes these wounds and patterns in areas of our life that hold greater intensity are often related to things of the past. When it seems to be like that, there was no real logical reason for that experience to happen upon me. I can definitely explain how intense that was, but I think it happens in subtle ways as well. In fact, I know it does. I've seen it in my own life and I've seen it in clients' lives as well. Ancestral healing is something that comes up time and time again. It's certainly a part of shamanic work. And I think of all healing journeys, we are doing that, whether we call it that or not. It's carried through our nervous systems and through our blood and our bones and our genetic patterns. So of course, our healing has something to do with where we came from in our lineage. And whether we got that through actually hearing stories or through silence or absence of stories, I very much had an absence of stories, which has caused me to it's churned my inspiration to really try to gather a lot more of my own ancestral story in order to understand myself more deeply and to let go of some of the suffering that has gone on. Sometimes it's difficult to know it until you see it clear as day. And there's a lot that came through our whole human ancestors, right? All of us are connected to each other. And so there's a lot that has been passed down, and there's also a lot that has not been spoken yet or felt yet. And so sometimes we, especially those of us who are charged with family and ancestral healing, if that is part of your story already, you are more likely to come across experiencing some of these things that were never spoken, that were never felt fully. So if you get this unexplained sadness, even if that's a prevalent thing in your life, that could be part of your ancestral patterns, as well as relationship sabotage, right? If you have seen, or if in your patterns, in your blood, in your bones, there's a distrust or a fear about abandonment and rejection and all the emotions, emotional expression really, really gets in the way of a lot of relationships when people can't express emotionally. And a lot of those patterns come from learned habits of traumas from our ancestors and from these people who have come before us and really paved the way. And so it's our task to take on these next steps. They've taken on some, they got us here. We are alive. How great. How great to be alive in this precious one lifetime at a time. What are some other things? Financial scarcity as well. People can definitely inherit this feeling of never having enough, or I know that's something that I've tuned into. I received a message even from my grandfather on my mom's side that was like, when I was young, I felt like we could never have anything. And that feeling, I can see how it's impacted all the people who came in contact with him. And then you think, okay, there must have been that further down and further down, further down the line, in order for him to even have that. So it really increases your empathy to see people with this lens, this ancestral healing lens. I also think that a lot of chronic tension and stresses and a lot of illnesses are, of course, we know that there's genetic and hereditary links, but I also believe that some part of that is also due to patterns of personality and thinking and energies and emotional states. If there's certain emotional states, sometimes people are also more likely to experience different symptoms that go along with that. You think of like stress in holding in and people having like gut issues. You can think of anger and people turning red or having more of a red face even. Not that that is an indicator, please. I mean, my face turns red a lot, and I definitely haven't been very expressive with anger in my life. I'm doing more of it actually. The older I get, the more I really recognize how beautiful anger is. But that's for another video. So we have this experience, this shared experience, where the body is remembering what the mind or soul has like tried to forget. And so your body might actually be the first thing that tells you what your ancestors didn't really get to say out loud. And so I just want you to all be aware of that this is a layer, an element that could be going on, maybe without your knowing. And hopefully it also allows you to self-heal and lift those burdens. And if you'd like more individual attention, you could definitely book a session with me. But also there is a really beautiful opportunity for us to gather together in Scotland for the Return to Earth Shamanic Ancestral Healing Retreat that I will be conducting with Skye Clemon, Wild Bear Dancing Woman in Dunoon, Scotland, October 1st to 5th. So I'll be on the land of my ancestors. I do love being there. I'll be in the UK for a few months. And yeah, I welcome you. There are still some spaces available. I'm so glad that there's also lots of spaces being taken. It's my first retreat that really also reflects the work I'm here to do and have been really steadfastly pursuing. The whole time I was in Scotland, I was doing various ancestral pilgrimages and working with a lot of this content. And then you can also check out the Ancestral Fire course that Skye and I taught. We are going to be doing another round. We had some challenges with some of the recordings on the last one, partly due to my error being a nomadic person. There is sometimes not the prime situation or setup, but I think it's actually going to work in our favor because we're going to be able to spend more time with repeating these ancestral healing tools. Because once you've done one side of the lineage, you might do another, and then there might be a story that comes out, and then you go and reapproach it, or there's just new layers of healing. There's really, really a rich foray of, or array, maybe a cornucopia of ways that you can approach your own healing through connecting and healing alongside your ancestors. So I just want to suggest here a bit of a reframe for all of us, that if we see ourselves not as broken or traumatized or too much or the black sheep, the one who's failing to figure it all out or fix it all, but you actually see yourself as the healing point in a long, generations past, ancient story, that you are a bridge between what has been and then what can and may and will be, and that it will be better and it will be lighter as every generation has tried to do for the next, then you're part of change. And so this healing is a lifting up of your spirit rather than trying to fix and put things back together. If you are together, your spirit and actually your ancestors have like really a lot of support for you if you're willing to accept it. And so you already coming across a video like this and being aware that you can connect to ancestors, or hoping that someday you feel a strong connection to your ancestors, wherever you are, you at least are aware that this is possible. And that's better than a lot of people actually get to access in their lifetime. So yay. And like tell your friends, tell your friends about ancestral healing. And let's for a moment just bring in some light and some energy. I feel called to ask you to actually put your hands on your belly, no matter if you have an actual physical womb or not. There's this energy space in our roots, our hips, and in our legs as well that really relates to our foundations, where we come from, what we stand on. And family and ancestors is one of those things, are one of those things that we stand on. So take some deep breaths, just slow and not very forced. Just allow yourself to calm your body and expand with each inhale. Keep breathing, and then we'll be with this place in ourselves, this inner remembering and knowing that we are the healing point in our long, ancient story. I'd like to drop into your either your mind's eye or into your body or outside of it, wherever you see fit. I'd like to drop a golden teardrop, and in it is a seed. This golden teardrop with this seed inside it, not yet sprouted, holds keys. It holds, I'd like to say codes, but I also kind of just mean DNA, really. Um, this seed is encoded with your DNA. This seed also holds your emotional patterns. This seed holds any beliefs and fears that any of your ancestors may have passed through. And it also holds gifts. It holds strengths. It holds power and endurance and life itself. It holds the power of healing and of growing, of evolving and changing and transforming, and of rising above adversity and through adversities. May you hold the gifts so gently in your body, and then ask yourself, what is mine to release right now? And let your body speak first, let your intuition speak. What is mine to release? You may choose more than one thing. Make sure you listen to the body though. Your body is going to be giving you some type of signal, some type of discomfort. What is that? Just ask yourself inside, what is that? What is it I need to release? It's amazing how much our body knows and wants to heal with us. as you just slowly maybe circle your hips or just your body a little bit. Just get some movement. A little shift happened, a little change happened. So just good to start swaying a little, settle it into your body. I would like to invite all of us, including myself, to do our best to honor unspoken stories of our ancestors, however we may find them and whoever they may come from. You don't actually have to know the details and facts of your story in order to connect with your ancestors. And we can show you that at the retreat. We can also show you that in Ancestral Fire, the course. You do not have to keep repeating these patterns in order to honor and stay loyal to your family. In fact, usually people leave this world and then they see life differently, and they want you to be unburdened like they experience as they cross over. So they want you to actually, usually, anyways, they're supporting you stepping up into your best feeling life because they want you to feel the best and feel provided for and to have enjoyment. I mean, my ancestors are often like, we want you to have fun. We want you to like really grow and really transform and do it all. Like they want to really see you live to the fullest. It's like our greatest thing we can do for them is how I feel. And you don't actually have to carry all their burdens just to prove that you love them and that you feel connected to them. You get to rewrite your story, and they love watching you do it. They just love when you rewrite the stories that didn't work for them, that maybe just did work for them, but they know it wouldn't work for you. That's okay too. These are some of the most radical acts of ancestral devotion that I know. And that could be why you came across this video and this message today. So if you resonate with me, my energy, my message, then we might be, needing to work together. That might be something that we do. Or maybe you're just meant to subscribe and like the video and be here for a little while longer. Sometimes people have watched me for years before they actually reach out. I recommend we get on it sooner rather than later if you want. So I will say, actually, as of this time, it's currently May 29th, 2025. And I'm able to celebrate that I'm raising my prices. Finally, after a lot of time, people telling me I've got to take a different a different look at how I've grown, right? Is I can kind of just say, oh yeah, that's fine, it's fine. But in reality, I want everyone to understand this is actually really where the value is more sitting at now. I've grown in this time. But to celebrate that, I'm giving 50% off all of my healing services. So if you see this by June 1st and you'd like to book a healing session with me, it's 50% off, and the code is down below. So I hope you will make use of that. It can even apply to the new Oracle mentorship package, which is 6 sessions, 90 minutes each, full on, you and I get into the core of everything that's going on in your life, helping you live the way that you want to live through a variety of different healing tools, including hypnosis techniques. But I would say more so what we will do in these sessions would be shamanic oracle work. So it would be divination and intuitive readings, maybe oracle cards, and also a large part shamanic healing. And they're really powerful. I'm really enjoying doing this work and getting deeper and deeper into my path. I will share more and more with you. I've been radio silent on a lot of things cooking, and it's time to be able to share more. So hope to see you at Return to Earth Ancestral Healing Retreat in Scotland. If it calls to you, please come join me on these lands. They are so potent and so powerful. And the ceremonies we have going on in this time are like, I don't want to beef them up too, hype them up too much. I feel they're going to be quite unreal, surreal, extraordinary, extra non-ordinary. Okay, so we'll chat soon. I'll be back, and let me know if you resonated with this and what parts of it sat with you, or what is your takeaway from watching this.